Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Duality 7X. I'm your host, Sheeraz. Today, I'm going to cover the fights that happened last night at UFC Perth in Australia at the RAC Arena. And, man, was it an exciting card or what? So we had some. You know what? There was a couple shocking surprises. Maybe not so much shocking, actually. But for the most part, I mean, if you're a betting man, then you would have loved it because you would have probably got a lot of your bets right if you just followed the money lines. And I did a video actually on this about the money lines on Bet MGM. But that said, before I start, I do want to get into a couple news. We got breaking news. We got Benoit Saint-Denis is officially signed to take on Beneil Dariush in UFC 322 in New York on November 15th. That's breaking news, guys. So Saint-Denis is going to take on Dariush November 15th in New York, UFC 322. That's exciting. And then don't forget, guys, we got a lot of UFC action next week. We got Ankalaev versus Pereira part 2. This is going to be great because, I mean, these guys have been doing a lot of trash talking as of late. I just actually posted a video on it just the other day. But this is definitely going to be a good fight. It's going to be a good card. Don't forget, we got Vashali versus Sandhagen, and then we got Prochaska versus Roundtree. Really excited for these fights, guys, and it's all happening at UFC 320. We're just 1 week away, guys. And look, I mean, it's going to be good, guys. There's a lot of exciting stuff that's happening. I didn't even talk about Josh Emmett. He's taking on Yusuf Zalal, and then we got Magomedov, and he's taking on Ferry. So this is going to be a loaded card, guys. You don't want to miss it. I'm going to be doing some videos on it. There's a lot of exciting news when it relates to that. I'm super excited. I don't know who you guys have your bets on, but I'll definitely talk about my takes and what I feel definitely in another video. But today, I want to get to UFC Fight Night in Perth. And this is the fourth time that the UFC returned to Australia, and boy, guys, it did not disappoint. So I want to kind of get into the action here, guys, and let's talk about it. So welcome back, everybody. Welcome. I'm Sheeraz. Again, I'm your host. This is Duality 7X. We cover everything from combat sports, MMA, UFC, the WWE, and boxing. So if that's your thing, then you guys are definitely at the right place. Let's dive into UFC Perth, because there's a lot to unpack. And yes, I did have a couple live videos, guys, that I was experimenting with over the weekend. Don't hate on me, guys. It's still in trial mode. I'm still trying to figure it out. It doesn't have my branding or my look and my finish. There's a couple good things that came out of it, and there's a couple things that I know I need to tweak. If you guys have any suggestions, I'm all ears. Again, this is my first time doing it. And so I want to do some more live streaming, and I think what I'm going to do is on the weekends, I'll probably do them a little bit earlier. So my videos, if you notice on the weekends, I try to pump them out by around 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and that's Mountain Standard Time. And my regular videos from Monday to Friday are usually around 4 p.m. 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you guys are following, and if you guys are like, hey, wait a minute, when's this guy's video coming out? It's usually coming out around this time. It's probably because I'm just working on it, but we post daily, so that's the most important thing. So, that said, please smash a like and subscribe. Let's get it on, guys. Let's get right to it. And I'm going to save the main event. Actually, you know what? Let's talk about the main event. Let's get right to the nitty-gritty, guys. I'm not even going to hold back on this. This was absolutely incredible. If you guys are watching it, then you guys know what I'm talking about. But Carlos Ulberg, wow. He's amazing. Carlos Ulberg pulled it off, guys. At 205 pounds, he took on Dominick Reyes. And you know what? I feel a little bit bad for Dominick Reyes. Honestly, he looked a little flat. He he looked a little off. And it's possible he might have sustained an injury during his camp. He might have not disclosed it. He might be a little under the weather. I mean, anything is possible, guys. But he totally flatlined in round one, and he stamped himself as honestly the next big problem in the light heavyweight division. Because let's be real, guys, Ulberg pulled off a huge win in decisive fashion. He came in riding a 9-fight win streak, guys. It's absolutely crazy. And that's this is the longest win streak next to, so John Jones has 10. He has 9. And absolutely incredible, right? And I mean, he's on a tear. He's actually invited. He's going to be flying down on a private jet. He talked to Hunter, and apparently that's all signed, sealed, and delivered. He's going to be flying on the private jet to Vegas. He'll be there for UFC 320 next week, so it'll be fun to see him, and I want to see what kind of drama comes out of that. That said, look, he's one win behind John Jones. And I mean, for this record at light heavyweight, it's absolutely incredible, guys. Because sometimes there is a little bit of volatility when it comes to these kind of. Anything can happen when you get to light heavyweight. Sometimes it's just that one punch, that one knee, one elbow, and you could take out the best in the industry. But in this case, it was Carlos's night, and I mean, he's already had wins over Blachowicz, Osmier, Menifeld, but I mean, this was a statement performance, and Reyes, man, this one hurts, honestly. And that, I mean, it was he had a razor close loss to John Jones back in 2020. His career, honestly, just hasn't been the same. He looked like he might be back within the first 3-round knockouts, but then, you know, Ulberg just shut all that down with one clean, straight right that sent him flying to the canvas, and it was lights out after that. And now, as I mentioned, Ulberg is going to be headed to Vegas. He's going to watch Pereira versus Ankalaev at UFC 320, and he's literally telling both of them that I'm coming. Now, what if Ulberg actually gets that title shot next, right? Could he be the new champ at 205? That's an interesting take. Congratulations to him. It was... He seems like such a classy guy as well, too, and he's super excited. And he did have the performance of the night as well, too. So that definitely helps. That was really, really good. In fact, I want to see. Let's... you know, these bonuses, they totally help, guys. They totally help the fighters, and it really goes a long way. Yeah, let's see if I can come up with a little bit more info on that. But okay. All right. So, yes, Carlos Ulberg definitely got the performance of the night. Kudos to him, man. It was a well-deserved fight, and I can't wait to see what he brings to the table next. Following that, I'm not going in order here, guys, but I'm just kind of going down the lines with the main card, and then I'll talk about a few of the prelims as well, too. But Jimmy Crute took on Ivan Erslan. Now, this was a banger, guys. Crute got it done. He got it done in classic fashion, in Crute fashion, and he dragged Ivan Erslan down. He worked him over and locked him in this very, very slick rear naked choke. It was almost WWE type, kind of like a neck breaker choke kind of a deal. I honestly, it was a hybrid of some sort. It wasn't a pure rear naked choke. It was a twist of something, but it had elements of the WWE and the UFC all into one. It was absolutely incredible. Honestly, he cranked that submission out with such grand fashion. Erslan tried to scramble. He couldn't. And at one point he even got on top for like a second, but Crute was just too much. And now that's three in a row for Crute, right? So he's back in the mix at light heavyweight, guys. So this really kind of stirs up the pot a little bit. The question is, does he start cracking into the top 10, or does he need still one more dominant win to get there? Because if you want to get noticed, you have to actually fight a top 10 or a top 15 guy, and you got to make a statement too. You can't just coast in those situations either. It doesn't help, right? Like when we're talking about Ulberg and we're talking about Reyes. I mean, both of these guys are explosive fighters, right? And these guys, we knew right off the bat they were going to be engaged in a fist-to-fist fight, and it was going to be very, very meaningful at the end of the day. And somebody was going to get knocked out for sure. When I was thinking of this fight, I didn't think a knockout was going to happen. I really thought that Crute was going to pull off some kind of a submission because he's been on a roll like that as of late. And so I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all, right? I mean, at one point, Ruslan got, and I mentioned, he got a little overzealous, right, with the striking early, and then he allowed Crute essentially to kind of change levels, and Crute secured a takedown. Then what happened is Ruslan tried to scramble, right, as I mentioned, and he was trying to get his way out of things, but he even managed to get on top, right? And this could have been a game changer. This could have changed the whole dynamics of the fight. But something happened in his strategy, and he didn't execute it well. And Crute quickly swept him and ended up in a full mount, and the rest is history, guys. So it was at the end of round 1, 3 minutes and 19 seconds, and now Crute has improved his overall record to 14-4-2. And look, I mean, being unbeaten in his last 3, I think that's an added testimony to his capabilities and what he's able to do, especially in this division. But guys, everybody's going to have to take note. Everybody's going to have to take note because this guy's a serious contender, and he looked like he had nothing but energy, and he had a lot more to give. So I hope you see this guy fight, possibly even this year. I would hate to wait till like February of next year. It would be good to see this guy lock it up one more time, possibly maybe even November, maybe UFC 322. We'll see what happens out of that. Then we got Jack Jenkins, and he took on Ramon Taveras. Now, I was talking a lot about this fight, guys, if you watch my videos. And, Jack Jenkins, I mean, he was coming in with a serious game plan, and he needed a serious bounce back. And what a bounce back he got. I mean, after his loss to Gabriel Santos, and everyone was kind of talking about that, a lot of people wondered if he was possibly leveling out, if he was getting a little bit stale. His moves, his strategies, his execution was getting a little mundane, easy to read. But against Taveras, he looked sharp. He looked composed. He looked like he had his game plan on, and from start to finish, he was in control. And that's the most important thing. He got the unanimous decision, so he's moved to 14-4 as well. And honestly, guys, Jenkins needed this. He really needed this. Taveras, on the other hand, I'm a little concerned because that. Then we got Jack Jenkins, and he took on Ramon Taveras. Now, I was talking a lot about this fight, guys, if you watch my videos. And, Jack Jenkins, I mean, he was coming in with a serious game plan, and he needed a serious bounce back. And what a bounce back he got. I mean, after his loss to Gabriel Santos, and everyone was kind of talking about that, a lot of people wondered if he was possibly leveling out, if he was getting a little bit stale. His moves, his strategies, his execution was getting a little mundane, easy to read. But against Taveras, he looked sharp. He looked composed. He looked like he had his game plan on, and from start to finish, he was in control. And that's the most important thing. He got the unanimous decision, so he's moved to 14-4 as well. And honestly, guys, Jenkins needed this. He really needed this. Taveras, on the other hand, I'm a little concerned because now with back-to-back losses in the UFC, that's never a good sign. The UFC's can be a little bit forgiving, but with back-to-back losses, he'll probably have another shot and he's going to really have to prove himself. And then what happens if he loses again? I don't know. I don't know what happens. But he's still a heck of a good fighter. He's got a lot of talent. He's got a lot of skill. But he's going to definitely have to tweak some things for sure in his camp so he can be ready for the next time around, if there's a next time. For Jenkins, though, I mean, he's right back on track, guys. And I could, personally, I think I could see this guy slowly working toward a ranked matchup if he strings another win or two together, and maybe even possibly after another win. And it depends on how he wins. If he wins with grand fashion, if he wins with, brilliant execution and skill like how he exemplified in yesterday at UFC Fight Night at Perth, I have a feeling we might even see him have a really big matchup very, very soon. He definitely deserves it. It's really sad to see Tavares back-to-back losses. Never good, especially if this is your first time in an MMA career, right? I mean, UFC is pretty top too. The talent is incredible. So there's a possibility he could probably go somewhere else, but he needs to really prove himself here at the UFC. It doesn't look good. Okay, let's talk about Neil Magny and let's talk about Jake Matthews. These guys are veteran fighters. They had a lot on the line. It's absolutely incredible. I mean, between the two of these guys, I think it was something crazy. Like, there was 20 years combined with a total of about 59 fights between these two guys. So, I mean, it was absolutely incredible to see these guys fight, and especially to see these guys fight at such a high caliber, at a high level. It just makes me so happy. Now, for Neil Magny, this guy is a cat with 9 lives, literally. Guys, Matthews had him. He had him in this beautiful choke at the end of round 1. And I was watching it, and then the buzzer went off, and I'm like, oh, wow, what a quick finish that was. Matthews raises his hand. He's walking away. I mean, you see Neil Magny's hand come out, and I don't know if it was coming out to try to find a way to tap. I don't know what he was doing there. I thought it was over. The buzzer went off. Matthews raised his hands in celebration, thought he won the fight, but he didn't. He didn't. The horn, somehow, the horn was Magny's savior that night, and he got saved by the bell, guys. There's no other way to put it. The fact that he was able to escape, and as soon as that buzzer went off, Magny immediately jumped to his feet, and he's walking towards his corner, and he's looking at the ref. He's just he's not even making eye contact. He's just shaking his head, pointing his finger no. This ain't happening. I'm still in this fight. And somehow he was still in this fight. Then I thought, okay, the momentum is going to carry forward with Matthews. He's just going to come in there and take him down again and just finish him off with a submission, potentially. Magny, on the other hand, being a veteran fighter that he is, and maybe because of all that skill and experience he's built along the way in his career, that came to help him in this case, because he totally flipped the script, guys, and he won with the DR choke of his own in round 3. He pulled the same choke that Matthews did on him in round 1, just at the end of the round, and he pulled it on him in round 3. How crazy is that, guys? And you know what? That's vintage Neil Magny in his Neil Magny fashion. He's now second of all time for UFC appearances, right behind Jim Miller. It's the craziest longevity, and at 38, this guy's still willing to dance. I mean, he still finds ways to win. He looked incredible. I honestly, he doesn't even look like he's 38 years old. I mean, this guy is in such peak shape, and he's obviously doing all the right things, but it was incredible. I mean, this was also a reminder of how dangerous a veteran fighter like Magny could be. And he still has one more big run potentially left in the gas tank. I believe that. I wholeheartedly believe. I think he's going to try to push for one more run. And I mean, that's just the ultimate gatekeeper at being at welterweight. I mean, it's such an exciting division. I love this division. There's so much excitement brewing, and I don't want to go off on a tangent, guys, because I could totally, and I could talk about all the drama that's going on. in this particular division. And you guys know what I'm talking about, right? But it was absolutely crazy, guys. I mean, when Matthews had Magny in that choke, and with the clock winding down, it was at 0.00, and I honestly thought Jim Perdios was going to say, it's over, it's done. And, he appeared to jump in and call off the fight, with approximately 1 second left on the clock. But no, the horn totally saved Magny. And as Magny got up, he was protesting the stoppage, and, he's saying that he wasn't incautious at all. And the fighters went back to their corners, and Perdios ruled the bout had reached at the end of the round. So he got saved, guys, because I honestly thought that decision was going to stand. The fight was over, and it was done. But the replay, when they did the replay, it actually showed a solid second after Perdios' contract and the horn. So the fight did technically move on, which it did, and wow, it was absolutely crazy. Unfortunately for Magny, he slides into sole possession of the number 2 slot of all-time UFC appearances on the leaderboard. And you know what? Here's the incredible thing, okay? When I think of Neil Magny, I think somehow luck was definitely on his side, and a little bit more than luck, because he had to find a way to claw back rounds 2 and 3. He had to find a way. He had to dig deep down and to really find the energy, the fortitude to be able to persevere and eventually get the win like he did in round number 3. Because most other fighters his age would have probably buckled. They would have probably lost in round number 2 against a younger fighter like Matthews. But in this case, Magny's experience and his veteranship obviously proved that he was definitely more than a lot of people anticipated. So congratulations to him. And definitely a huge upset for Matthews. You really feel bad for the guy, but it is what it is, man. That's a fight. And Matthews could have worked a little harder. He could have tried to pull off some magic in round number 2, round number 3. That didn't happen. He's actually 31. So having one loss is not terrible at all, guys. We're definitely going to see him back, and he is young. He's definitely got some miles to go still. So incredible fight. So let's go on to Tom Nolan versus Charlie Campbell. Holy schmoly, guys, what a fight, guys. Tom Nolan came in screaming with punches. Like, he was swinging. He got rocked early by Campbell. I thought it was over. I thought Campbell was going to take this. And then, but he showed some insane grit. He showed some insane fortitude. And then he regrouped. And then he got Campbell's back. And that's it. He got on his back. He wouldn't let go. He was like a leech on his back. And then he finished it with a rear naked choke in the first round. It was explosive from the get-go, guys, right off the bat. And it didn't disappoint. I'm just sad that the fight ended so quick as it did. I would have really liked to see these two fighters fight a little bit more. I was really excited about wanting to see these guys fight and the kind of skill sets that we're going to bring to the cage. But unfortunately, fortunately for Tom Nolan, and it was a good fight, guys. He won in grandiose fashion with the rear naked choke. I mean, beautiful. But I really wanted to see these guys fight a little bit longer. I mean, now that makes it 4 straight wins for Nolan. He had a rough UFC debut. I mean, the guy's only 25 years old. I mean, he's definitely one to watch, at lightweight. But now it's time. I think this guy honestly needs a top 15 opponent. And I keep talking about this, right? Because you can keep fighting these guys in your division, and there's no shortage of them. They keep coming out of the woodwork, right? But if you really want to make a name for yourself, you got to move up. You got to fight a top 15. In his case, he definitely has to fight a top 15 opponent. No more building fights, guys. I mean, let's get right to it. Let's see what this man is all about. Let's see what he brings to the table. I know he's got the capability. I know he's got the skill set. I want to see Tom Nolan fight a top 15 opponent guy, and I want to see it soon. I think this guy's incredible. I think he's got a lot of talent. The UFC really needs to show to the world what kind of a fighter this guy is, because this guy could be a very, very serious contender moving forward. Super excited about this. A lot of discussions about Campbell and Nolan kind of going into this fight. After losing his UFC debut in January of last year, Nolan just regrouped. He dug down and he started working with his camp a lot harder. And look, to have 4 wins now, consecutive wins. And the fact that he was this fight was in Australia, he's Australian, he had the crowd behind him, it was beautiful. I mean, definitely, at 155 pounds, you could watch this guy all day. It was absolutely incredible. I could probably see him wanting to fight people now outside of Australia, maybe some more international fights, and I think that's what a lot of people want to see as well too. And yeah, I think he'll definitely get some good offers moving forward. So, that said, let's talk a little bit about prelims, guys. The prelims were not too bad. We got Navajo Sterling. He defeated Rodolfo Bellato, and excuse me, guys. All right, so let's talk about prelims, guys. So we'll start with Navajo Sterling. He took on Rodolfo Bellato. Navajo Sterling stays undefeated. He had a very gritty decision win over Rodolfo. The guy's like 8-0 now, and he looks like another Kiwi prospect to keep an eye on. So Australians are really, really loving this guy. Good for them. They've got an amazing fighter. And, I mean, look, Bellato came out looking to put some pressure on Sterling right away. He didn't even hold back. He landed some beautiful, some significant shots early on. And, I mean, in the final 30 seconds, the undefeated Australian really started to open up. He started swinging big. He was engaging in firefights with Bellato. He was showing Bellato that he's not just a guy who can take the punches. He can dish them out as well, too. And he can go toe-to-toe. And that's exactly what he did. And he stood there and he exchanged. There was a beautiful exchange between these guys. Sterling appeared to get the better of the late exchange. I mean, honestly securing him kind of like a 10-9 round, I believe, in the scorecards. And after throwing hands with Bellato, like throughout the first, Sterling opted to flex his ground game in the second. And look, he's got some stamina, man. He secured an early takedown, and then he settled into half guard. And then before long, Bellato obviously managed to fight his way back up, and even scored a takedown of his own with a few ticks left on the clock. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for him to steal the round. And I mean, despite seemingly like needing a finish, Bellato spent much of the third round finishing for takedowns against Sterling. So it wasn't until the first half minute, I believe, of the fight that they started to really open up. And I think this is where all the magic started to happen. Sterling scored with the beautiful, nasty right hand that landed. I thought that was it. That beautiful right, I thought was going to be game over, and it happened just before the bell, right? So, an impressive performance, earning him his 8th career victory. Really, really good. And oh, by the way, I didn't even talk about this, but we were covering the Tom Nolan fight. He actually got performance of the night as well too. So that was really good. Okay, guys, let's talk about Cam Ralston versus Andre Petrowski. Now, Petrowski, the veteran, a lot of people thought he was going to give Cam a little bit of a difficult time, a hard time. He was going to make him earn his paycheck. Why? Because he's a veteran and he's a skilled fighter, and he was going to do what he had to do. Unfortunately, his strategy did not come through with him while he came into the ring himself. And Cam Ralston, the battle giraffe, knocked out Petrowski with a beautiful left hand in just under 3 minutes, guys. And that was all. I mean, it's 5 wins in a row for Ralston. He was absolutely incredible. I mean, a beautiful short left hand, drops Petrowski. Petrowski briefly tries to threaten an armbar, and then he tries to... He tried something, and then it was just, no. Cam Ralston wasn't having any of it. He started to ground and pound him to the point where the referee had to come in and stop the fight. Then obviously got on the microphone. He was super excited and elated, and his buddy Israel Adesanya was cheering him on ringside as well too. So now he has 12 finishes and 13 wins, guys, and he's extended his win streak to 5 now. So this is a guy who you can't sleep on. He is a serious contender. He wants to make his name in the UFC, and you got to give him that due, and you got to give him his opportunity. I mean, 3 of his 4 UFC losses have come by knockout or TKO. Absolutely incredible. This guy is a maniac. Give this guy his due. Give him an opportunity, and I want to see him in the ring very, very soon. All right, guys, let's talk about Jamie Mullarkey. He outlasted Ronaldo Bedoya, and he won by unanimous decision. In fact, he was dominating much of the opening round. He was on his feet, he was dancing around, and he started to let his hands go in the second. He was punching his way. He was controlling the inside. He was doing everything he was supposed to, but Bedoya was still there. He was still he really kind of opened up a little bit in the third round, and he was starting to make his move, but Mullarkey was just too much for him. He managed to secure a good takedown, and then that was it. It was done. I mean, Mullarkey, honestly, it was a tough fight. Yeah, I think both of these guys really dug down as deep as they could. Unfortunately for Bedoya, he didn't have anything in his gas tank. He really looked tired out there, guys, honestly, and Mullarkey just exposed him, and he got the win. So kudos to him. That was pretty cool. And we could talk about we got Kobe defeated Josias Masusa, unanimous decision as well too. And he got a beautiful victory over Masusa. Colby put on an impressive showing in the opening round, guys. I mean, he was getting Masusa on the mat and absolutely dominating from there. He didn't let go. I mean, near to the end of the first, Colby managed to clinch in like a rear naked choke, but he just couldn't. If you watched it, he couldn't get the angle that he wanted, and unfortunately, he needed to, but it wasn't locked in really well. Masusa in the second round came out swinging. He utilized his leg kicks to kind of bust up a little bit, but and he did look. He did an excellent job, trying to stuff every one of Colby's takedowns, but it wasn't enough. I mean, less than a minute into the third, Colby delivered an illegal kick to, the protective area of Musasa, and it brought a halt to the fight. Musasa took his time to regroup, recover. It was a brutal low blow, guys. I mean, we see a lot of low blows. It happens. A lot of it happens by mistake. But this one, it must have been a mistake. Yeah, but it was brutal. It was, I think we were all kind of cringing a little bit. But fortunately, Musasa was able to continue. Now, I'm not sure if he completely regrouped because, you get 40 seconds. He got 40 seconds. He utilized every single second of it. And, with just under 2 minutes to go, Colby secured another takedown and decided to make a statement and started raining down punches through the final bell, and that was that. So I'm wondering if that kick to the lower area, the lower region, actually just shook up Musasa to the point where he just couldn't come back. I'd like to see these guys fight again, but that was a brutal low blow, guys. So if you had a chance to see that, wasn't good. So let's talk about Brando Pericic, and wow, what a violent first round knockout over Elisha Ellison. I mean, this guy's story is wild, guys. I mean, Brando sleeping in cars and gyms and just trying to hustle out there, trying to do everything that he can just to make a name for himself in the UFC. And what a beautiful fight this was. In fact, it earned him Performance of the Night So congratulations to him. Super excited for this, guys. This was the heavyweight fight that a lot of people were waiting to watch, and both men came out swinging like oh, like in such heavyweight fashion right from the opening bell. Okay, now Pericic is 5-1 MMA. That's his record, and he's 1-0 now at the UFC. But I mean, he wanted to land some big shots, and both of these guys are just incredible. Um, yeah, it was beautiful, guys. It ended at the 1 minute 55 second mark of round number one. And look, Pericic is a product of City Kickboxing, and his teammate Israel Adesanya actually was on his feet, and he was, just cheering him on, and he was really, really pleased with his performance, as we all were, and that's why, of course, hence he got the performance of the night. But he was just like, when he was speaking, he's like, "What an effing life! I'm blessed." He told everybody in the post-fight interview with Paul Felder, and he's like, the last 8 years, he's just been sleeping in cars, sleeping in gyms, wherever he could lay his head at night, and just training and working out and dieting to the best of his ability. And yeah, and then he's like, nobody's gonna effing stop me. And you know what? He obviously, there was a lot of emotion there, but kudos to him. You want to see a guy like that come out on top. Oh, I wanted to talk about Michelle. I want to talk about Michelle Montag. She stays undefeated, guys, at 7-0, and she smothered Luana Carolina. Holy smokes, guys! I mean, Montag dominated most of this fight from opening round on the mat. I mean, Carolina did look like she was landing a lot of the significant strikes, but Montag, I mean, this is her bread and butter. This is what gives her those wins. She dominated on the mat, and Carolina. This is kind of like a stark contrast because Carolina was landing some massive counters right off the bat, but to no avail. And at one point, Carolina was going in there looking like she was trying to get the guillotine. But Montag put Carolina on her back and took control of the fight. She's like, I'm not having any of this. There's no way in HE double hockey sticks are going to do this to me. And she put on a show. And the referee honestly immediately had to deduct point from Carolina at one point because she actually connected with an illegal kick. And that was sad to see because usually you don't see that. Usually the referee is warning you a few times before they actually take a point away from you. But in this case and in her case, yeah, he had her in the ring and he's like 1 point. And that's unfortunate for her, right? But yeah, Carolina in the third round, it was more of the same. Landed a couple solid shots and then gets taken down again. So this was like from start to finish. Carolina had some great striking abilities. It looked like she was trying to do some damage, but as soon as she got close, Montag was right there to throw her right down to the mat and started to go to work. And it was absolutely crazy. And then Montag even attempted to finish via rear naked choke, but was unable to clinch her arm under Carolina's chin before the clock ran out. So anyways, the official contest had her winning. We'll definitely see Luana come back. Her striking is incredible, guys, but she needs to really work on her ground game. And she gets taken down a lot, and it looked like that in this fight. When it looked like she had a little bit of momentum going for her, it was all just thrown right away. Kind of like Khamzat style, All right, who do we got next? So we got Alexia Tainara. Now she dominated over Luke Bunmi. Now this is the strawweight fight, guys, and look, Alexa proved that she's for real at strawweight. She dominated this fight, guys. Honestly, a lot of I think what was interesting for me is I really wanted to see what Luke Bunmi's Muay Thai skills, and I wanted to see some of that mixed martial arts kind of some of those special skills that you don't really often see too much, and I wanted to see how she would come off at that, but yeah, she attempted a takedown as well too. She failed at that, and then Tainara just managed to get her opponents back to the map, and then just under a minute left in the first, immediately moving into full mount, she was just raining down some serious elbows through the remainder of the opening round, and I think that was it. Like honestly, at some point, Luke Bonmi attempted to flip the script on Tainara, and in the third, and she momentarily kind of had Tainara. She was kind of on Tainara's back, and then, but it didn't. But honestly, it didn't take long for Tainara to just quickly flip the script back on her, and she laid her back down, and then that was it, guys. A Hail Mary finish, and off to the races, and she secured the victory. So that was that. We'll definitely see Luke Bonmi again. I want to see some of that Muay Thai magic, and perhaps maybe in the next one. But unfortunately for her, it wasn't her night at Perth. It was Alexa's. And so unfortunately, we talked about Justin Tafa. His fight was canceled due to illness. It's a tough break for him, and a tough break for Sutherland as well too, because it was last minute. They couldn't find a replacement fighter for Sutherland, so both of them were unfortunately out. I wanted to kind of see that, but I think I had Sutherland winning that one just on stats alone. And I mean, and that was a debut fight as well too, right? So, but yeah, guys, that said, I mean, it's sad. It's really, I think of Tafa. He's from New Zealand. He's had a lot of ups and downs, and I mean, this is now the second straight fight that Tafa was unable to participate in. Here's the thing, right? When you talk about illness and you talk about sicknesses and injuries, you can't get mad at a fighter because of that. I mean, there's a lot that a fighter has to do to be able to prepare themselves, to put themselves in a position where they can actually, be ready to fight, and not just fight, be able to go the distance if required. And unfortunately for him, he got sick. And but this is twice now in a row that he wasn't able to participate in a fight. So I'm sure there's going to be some discussions about this, but I mean, again, you can't, turf him because he was sick. He'll come back. He'll definitely come back, and he'll be tested, and then we'll see what Tafa has to bring to the table. And so, yeah, I don't know why. I honestly don't know why he wasn't able to fight in UFC 317. It was definitely due to some unknown reasons, but this time it was an illness. And Sutherland now, I mean, poor guy, he was scheduled to make his UFC debut, and he's got a 10-3 MMA record. And I looking at those stats, I thought this could be a good win for him. He's on a 4-fight win streak himself, and 7 of his 10 victories have come in first-round finishes. So this was definitely one of those fights that I didn't want to miss, but unfortunately, it didn't go as planned. And Junior Tafa, Justin's brother, that fight as well, Oban Elliott had to withdraw to his bout due to illness as well too. So there was some, unfortunate moments, but overall it was beautiful. And those are just some of the fights, honestly, guys, that I wanted to kind of chat about. But I mean, as I wrap up, did you think UFC Perth gave us everything? I mean, everything that you wanted. There was some highlight knockouts, beautiful knockouts. There was some beautiful submissions, and there was definitely some career-defining moments. And there will be also some other discussions that are going to happen in the background for some of the fighters as well too. So that'll be interesting to see kind of what comes out of that. Now for Ulberg, he was the star of the night, and he's definitely the future at 205. I think that's where he needs to be, and to be on a 9-win fight streak is absolutely incredible, especially at light heavyweight. I almost think that this guy could even go heavyweight. But anyways, I won't get ahead of myself, but it'll be exciting to see him at UFC 320 next week, and we'll see what conversations come out of that. But what else? What about the performance of the nights? Carlos Ulberg, Jimmy Crute, Tom Nolan, Brendo Pericic. I mean, what an amazing story about Pericic. you know, a guy who for 8 years of his life was just kind of going from one place to another, just finding a place to sleep, sleeping out of cars, sleeping out of gyms, doing everything he can just to make a name for himself in the UFC, and then pulls off that beautiful stunner of a finish, and also gets a performance of the night. It'll be good to see this guy again. So what performance for you guys stood out the most, and do you guys think that Ulberg could actually take on and beat the likes of a Pereira or Ankalaev? I know he really wants Ankalaev, but he's also called out Pereira as well too. If he gets a shot, I think he definitely could do some damage. So let me know in the comments, guys, what you guys think. Smash the like button and subscribe. And if you're new, please join us here on Duality 7X for more fight talk every day. We'll catch you guys on the next one.